Now, fractions and division are the next step that we need to look at. So if we look at a half, the fraction 1/2, 1 over 2, it's exactly the same as saying 1 divided by 2. So this problem, 1 over 2, is the same as 1 divided by 2. And once you have 1 divided by 2, then you know that you place the 1 as the dividend in here and the 2 as the divider. So 2 goes into 1, you can't do, so you're going to add a 0. We're going to put a decimal point into the dividend and add a 0. Then means we need to put a decimal point in our quotient, in the answer. We can then carry the 1, so that we can then say 2 goes into 10 5 times, so we have an answer of 0.5. And so we know from our previous experience that 1/2 is 0.5. So we can prove that this is the same as this, is the same as this. So whenever you're thinking about setting up a division problem, working out fractions, if you think about half being 0.5, you can make sure that you have your numbers in the correct position. Okay, so to change a fraction to a decimal, you divide the numerator by the denominator. So you would have learnt that in primary school. The numerator is the top number, the denominator is the bottom number. So you're dividing the numerator by the denominator. So 8 is here and 5 is here. So in exactly the same as we've divided, 8 goes into 5, it can't go, you carry the 5. 8 into 5 goes 6 times with a remainder of 2. 8 into 20 goes 2 times, remainder of 4. 8 into 40 goes 5 times with no remainder. So the answer is 0.625. Now a simple way to remember this is if it's a fraction, which is a smaller number over a larger number, you're going to make sure that your decimal is less than 1. So if you come up with a number that's greater than 1, you've probably put your numbers in the wrong way, your dividend and your divisor. So always remember, the top number always gets caught in the division box. So the top number goes caught in the division box. And also when dividing, don't forget your decimals line up your answer and add zeros as needed. So here are a few more problems for you to calculate. So if you can pause the video now, calculate these 3 fractions in your workbook and then continue on. Okay, so the answers that you should have got: 0.875, 0.36 and 0.4. So if you had any problems with those ones, please just ask your teacher to explain what was going on. Okay, so recurring decimals, as we looked at before with recurring decimals, the numbers continue on. So 2 over 11, the answer is 0.181818. So when you're doing your recurring decimals, there are 2 numbers that are recurring here. So you need to put a dot over each number so that we know that that sequence of numbers, 1, 8, will continue to recur. Can you please now pause the video again and try these 2 problems? So the answer for the first one, you should have got 0.333 or 0.3 recurring. And for the second one, you can see in this one that 5 and 8 go first and then 3's continue recurring after that. So you put the 3 in with the recurring decimal above the 3. Now, sometimes you may need to change a decimal into a fraction, and this is the easy part. So you need to write the decimal amount, so the part that's after the decimal point, as the numerator, and then for the denominator, write the number 1 and add a 0 for each place value on the right-hand side of the decimal. let's have a look at an example of this. So 48, you take the decimal portion of 0.48 and you write that as your numerator. The denominator is simply putting a 1 with a number of zeros being the number of places in your decimal. So here you have 1, 2 places, so therefore you add 1, 2 zeros. So if you can now try these three, pause the video and complete these in your workbook. So what you should have done, for the first one you place the 7 at the top, then you place a 1 in the denominator, there's only one decimal point, so there's 1 0. For the second one, 75 on the top, there are 2 decimal places, so there are 2 zeros in your denominator. For the third one, there are 362, there are 3 decimal places, so there are 3 zeros. So you'll have 362 1,000.